evening, viewers and listeners. We are live and welcome to the Seven Cities Shoptalk Sports Show, broadcasting to you from the beautiful state of Virginia to everyone all over the world. As you guys can tell, I'm a little pumped up today and excited. We have a guest in the house, and I'll introduce you to him in a second. But before we get started, we want to thank you for joining us in another episode of our brand of dysfunctional camaraderie. And as of now, this shop is open. And as I said before, I'm your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson, and I got my other host in the building. Let me go ahead and get my host introduced before we get our guest of honor on here. Let me go ahead and start with you, Ed. How you doing, Ed? He's a resident writer here at Seven City Shop Talk.
I'm doing okay. Doing okay
Give me your opening monologue, man. What's your opening monologue?
Man, breathing a little easier after Saturday. A little worried about the center. What's his name? Crap.
Brady Wilson.
Wilson. I was like Wilson.
Brady.
Like, is that first name, last name? A little worried about him. I hope it really is just a calf strain, because 2 weeks to heal would be, well, hopefully just about right.
Right.
But it was a huge difference in the line from when he was in there to when he went out. So I know his backup was not well, and I think the backup for his backup was not well. So hopefully the bye week will do us some good.
Well, we got the man on the line here, so he'll be able to give us a little insight on some of the injuries as well. But thanks for that. So now we got AB, the lady in the building, lady of the house with Seven City Shop Talk. AB, how are you doing today, and what's your opening monologue?
I'm good. I am just enjoying a week of vacation. I figured I'm taking off Friday to be in Scott Stadium, so I just took off the week to kind of get my mind right and stuff, and I will see everybody on Friday.
Absolutely. We are definitely looking forward to that. And as far as I'm concerned, I am excited because, number one, we got an incredible opportunity on primetime to make some history after talking about history for the past week now, going on a few days now. This is something that we have talked about and kind of didn't want to look ahead, but we have something very, very, very exciting coming up here with the University of Virginia football. Might I say something that hasn't happened, or had the excitement hadn't been up since the Orange Bowl. But like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But before I get any further, I want to introduce our guest in the building here, my man Greg Madia from the Daily Progress. If not the top, one of the top beat writers on at the University of Virginia, here to spend some time with us and give us some of his insight for the evening. How are you doing today, Greg?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Lawrence. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys bringing me on to talk some football. It's a huge game Friday night. It's exciting. Probably the biggest game that they've had since I've been on the beat, honestly. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely happy to have you, man. And what we do here, we may have some of our other hosts jump in, and when they jump in, we'll just kind of let them boom. As I said, right on time. Ethan Sauer is also one of our hosts here. What's going on, Ethan?
Not much. Just getting geared up for a hectic Friday, you know.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dad.
Are you coming?
I'm planning to. We're gonna pack Scott.
Okay, sounds good. Now give us your opening monologue, Ethan.
I mean, I'll tell you, I don't got any stats this week, but one, and that's pack Scott. Sell out, 65,000 loaded in stands.
Let's make it happen. So, yeah. So of course, this is Greg Ethan on the line here with us, and we're getting ready to give Greg the forum here. Let me go ahead and get you over here, Greg. So everybody, this is Greg Madia. He is like I said before, the Daily Progress, and we're gonna open it up to him and let him kind of give us an idea of what I guess the Daily Progress is, what they cover as far as, or what areas that they cover within the state, and also kind of give us an idea of what your vision of what you thought Virginia football would be, and we'll start from there, and then we'll get into Friday night. But the floor is yours, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Lawrence. It's we with the paper, the Daily Progress, and covering UVA football and sports. I mean, All my coverage serves Charlottesville, and then it serves in the Richmond Times-Dispatch down to the Roanoke Times and up to Fredericksburg. So pretty much wherever you pick up a paper in the state, you can find the work that I do that runs in the Daily Progress when it comes to UVA sports coverage. And then in terms of the expectation for UVA football, if you're talking this year, I thought they'd be better, Lawrence. I really did. I thought they would be improved this season with the talent that they added through the transfer portal beginning back in December and January after some very nice anonymous donations came through for the Who's. It always helps when you're gonna try to build your roster to have the finances to do it. And because they made that, they had some donors make the commitment and they decided to get serious about it. I thought it was a smart and wise jump if you don't want to get left behind in the world of college football. In order to be good, you got to spend money on players, and Virginia's done that. And I like the way they went about it too. Right, they went after proven, experienced commodities. That's at quarterback, on the defensive line, on the offensive line. And they didn't try to find guys beaming with potential. They found guys who had done it before. And I think that makes a big difference in a time when Virginia has to be good, right? It's season 4 for Tony Elliott. It feels like, you got to start winning some games and winning some big ones. So I like the way they approached it. They went after guys who have proven they can do it. And you're seeing it show up on the field on Saturdays.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me kind of get your idea of this. So being that, we see an improvement naturally. This is a 180 on this program, in my opinion, especially from, let's say, 3 years ago. I mean, you saw some improvement last year where they lost, 5 games within a 10 to 7 point range and under, which, ball could have went the other way or bounced another direction. They could have won. So, being a 5-win team and losing the way that they did, you could see that they were building something. But, the word on the street is, and then for some of our other colleagues is 30 million. Is that a number that you kind of identify with as well? Or you think is more, less? What do you think, that roster is worth at right now? Just your estimation.
I mean, the quarterback, you're spending north of $1 million on a quarterback alone. I don't think it's quite 30 million. That would be, I think that's a little above, just in my opinion, based on what I've heard. But they didn't cheap out. I mean, they spent money on proven players, and they spent money at positions where there's some significant costs, right? Offensive line, it's not cheap to get offensive tackles. They signed Monroe Mills, right? I know you won't see him this year because of the ACL injury. They signed McKeelan Thomas. You likely won't see him this year because of the Achilles. It's those are premium positions, cornerback too, and defensive end also, and then of course the quarterback, which I already mentioned. So you're looking at a program that spent money on places where it's expensive to spend money in order to fortify your roster. So that's that. If that's I don't think it's quite 30 million, but they didn't cheap out.
So being that they spent that or something similar to that amount of money, are we? I guess we should all expect the results. I know some folks are saying we're building, but this isn't a building. We want results immediately. Spending that kind of dough, on your roster. Would you agree with that?
To me, would I agree with that the results need to come? I still think, right, there's an element of it where you're still bringing a team together. You've seen it at other places where they load up on transfer portal players in the past, and maybe it doesn't work out. So it's not a guarantee for it to work. I do think Virginia's on the right track with the way they've helped develop cohesion, chemistry. Tony Elliott, it's something I asked him about because he really hadn't done this extensive of a roster flip ever before, even though he was a new coach in the kind of early stages of the portal era when he arrived at Virginia. But he said that the hardest thing was not to force chemistry, not to force it, and he felt like the team did a good job of naturally coming along together. So I think from that perspective, that's good, and it helped that they added some guys with some serious credibility too. Mitchell Melton had just won a national title with Ohio State. Jaden Thomas played in the national title game for Notre Dame. They added a quarterback who threw for 31 touchdowns last year, which was the fourth most in the country, and had been at Oklahoma, been at TCU, and over to North Texas. They added players who, when they walked in, there's some immediate respect and amongst each other and among the guys who were already in place, the returning guys. And I think it helped that the older, experienced players who'd been at Virginia, Noah Josie, Mikhail Boley, Jameer Carter, they made it a point to be welcoming and want those newcomers to be part of their team because they're tired of losing too, right? They want to be good. They want to get it right. So I think that's a credit to Virginia in that department. Is they found some credible, likable, experienced players that other players wanted to be around.
Let me do this. Let me let some of my other hosts ask you some questions. I'm going to start with you, Ed. Go ahead and shoot. Go ahead and ask Greg a question about something that you have in mind, UVA.
Thanks. I'll be on the spot. It's a lot has been made in the past of Virginia either playing up or playing down to the opponent. What's your sense of the game preparation leading up to Florida State?
Yeah, I think this team is older and kind of takes it 1 week at a time. I think so far you've seen that with this Virginia team. So I don't know. We haven't really been able to see if there's that high and low dip that some teams have. It'll be interesting, in the weeks after, Florida State and Louisville, if there's a dip when, after a bye week and Washington State comes to town. I don't think you've seen that yet. You've seen them hit the accelerator right out of the gate, against William and Mary. There was no messing around. Lesser opponent. Yeah. You could have, that game was a close game, and then William and Mary was leading in the second quarter a couple of years ago. There was none of that. It was not in doubt. So I haven't seen the high-low dip that some teams experience. I think as far as preparation for Friday night goes, you're looking at a team that understands the immense challenge in front of them. Florida State is big up front on the offensive and defensive lines. I mean, look at Darrell Jackson at nose tackle, and you think about Virginia's situation on the interior of the offensive line with Brady Wilson. Day to day is what Tony Elliott said today. If he cannot play with the calf injury, then there's going to be some shuffling along that offensive line. And Virginia will use, Drake Metcalf at center, and they'll play Kevin Wigginton or Tyshawn Wyatt at right guard. That's going to be a challenge. You're going to have to figure out ways to move those defensive tackles out of the way if you want to run the football as well as you have the last couple of weeks. It's 3 straight games with 200 yards rushing for UVA. But that was with Wilson in the middle of the offensive line, making the calls, making the checks. So that's critical. I do think it's good that Metcalf at least has some experience at center, right? Began his career as a center at Stanford, started at UCF as a center. So it's not like the position's foreign to him. He's just going to have to be the vocal guy, and I don't think he'll have a problem with that. He's one of the vocal guys on the line already. I'd be more worried about the right guard spot if I'm Virginia, right? Wyatt Wigginton haven't played a lot yet for UVA, so that's it. That's part of the preparation that has to be figured out this week. They got to figure out also how much they can pull from their past experiences against Thomas Castellanos, the Florida State quarterback at Boston College.
They've had success.
He looks great so far. Yeah. He had an outstanding, debut against Alabama with Florida State. And then they've kind of beat up on some real poor competition, right? FCS East Texas A&M, which I'm sure some people didn't even know was a school until they played Florida State. And then they had Kent State last week. So they've beaten up on some lesser foes, but that win over Bama was impressive. And you look at that first drive, I was watching it a little earlier today. Castellanos fires a 40-yard pass down the field to Squirrel White, who was previously at Tennessee. And then he hustles that offense to the line of scrimmage. They're on the ball, and all of a sudden Castellanos is taken off for a 9-yard touchdown run. That's the tempo you got to be prepared for. That's the different kind of ways Florida State can beat you that you got to be prepared for. So to me, like there's a lot. There's a lot that Virginia has to figure out, whether or not it can pull from its past games against Boston College. Which when Castellanos was there, how did they rattle him last year when he threw a couple of interceptions? They sacked him 6 times. Or is it all useless because he's playing in Gus Malzahn's offense now? I think that's all part of the preparation this week for UVA during a short week.
Lane integrity. That's the 2 words that I am hoping for with this team is rush lane integrity. 3 words: rush lane integrity.
Keep him in the pocket.
Absolutely. So shout out to our folks in the chat as well. My man Devin Hyde is saying, the offense definitely did an excellent job gelling. Yes, they've done a great job. Top 10 in the nation. He also said normally it's vice versa when the defense usually builds chemistry faster. Yeah, they did a great job of doing that. And he also says he's worried about our safeties holding up, playing the responsibility. Yeah, playing responsibility for ball against the Noles. What's going on, Peggy? Thank you for tuning in as well. She said, when will Clary be back? Clary was actually back. He
went through warm-ups, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he played sparingly.
Did he? Okay.
They just wanted to get him wet, get his feet wet, and they didn't want to just throw him in there. They
Okay.
just wanted, and also they want to work on his wind, his game time, wind, and speed as well. Yeah, game shape. Let me get you in here, AB. Let's go ahead and ask AB. You want to go ahead and ask your question to Greg?
So it's kind of a 2-part question. So for one, I definitely think we need to give, Florida State their credit. I mean, Castellanos is amazing. And I said it week 1 when they played Alabama, I said, I really feel like this kid is going to come out and be in the runnings for the Heisman candidacy. I mean, he's really solid as a quarterback. And I think we'll see that progress as the season goes on. So with that being said, ESPN currently has us at a +6.5, giving us +6.5 points on the spread. Do you feel like our defense is strong enough to be able to cover that close of a game?
Yeah, that's a really good question. There are other things to worry about besides Castellanos too, right? I haven't even mentioned like Mekhi Danzy, this super fast, speedy freshman Florida State has that Gus will use on reverses. I think he has 5 carries this year. The freshman Danzy, 3 touchdowns, all long touchdown runs on reverses too. And then you throw in some of the problems Virginia's had in the secondary in the big play passing game. That would worry me a little bit. I think this game's going to be really high scoring with the way it's going. I know Virginia's cleaned up its run defense, but when you add a player with the dynamic ability of Castellanos at quarterback, it changes some things. We saw how they struggled against C.J. Bailey at North Carolina State earlier this month, and the combination of Bailey and Hollywood Smothers, how troubling that was for Virginia. I think that'll be tough. I think if Virginia keeps it within the spread, it's probably going to be because the offense is humming on all cylinders and moving up and down the field.
Let me come to you, Ethan. What question do you have for Greg?
I mean, we're talking about shaky secondary. We got kind of a spotty O-line even before the injury at center. How important is it going to be to start with high tempo right off the bat with the run game? And on top of that, maybe even when we go out there to see who gets kicked off the ball first, maybe even take the ball first and take the momentum of the game right off the bat with a high-scoring offense like Florida State. Yeah,
that's a good question too, because you're thinking about like how aggressive should Virginia be throughout the game, knowing Florida State averages 50+ points a game. They're running for 363 yards a game. You if you're Virginia's offensive coordinator and Des Kitchings, who's done a really nice job, and I'd asked this to him earlier today. I said, how do you How do you figure out, when to push the envelope? Does it make you, want to be more aggressive as a play caller? And he was saying, no, you really can't, because at the same time, you got to trust that you've been good enough already to win games. And then you're also trying to make sure your defense gets some rest and can stay off the field between their series, right? The worst thing, that could happen, is a couple of quick incomplete passes, maybe after Florida State scores, and then all of a sudden you're sending your defense right back out there. So I think that's a balancing act. Now, where I think you could be smart and push the envelope is maybe in some fourth down situations in Florida State territory. I think with how good Virginia's been on third down, and they're 50, I think they're 58% on third down. They're really, really good this year. The fourth down offense, they're 50%. Like, they've shown enough to me where they don't press in those situations. Dez and Chandler Morris have a good relationship to where they can get into a comfortable play. Like, that to me, depending on, down and distance, time on the clock, like, that's where I would think about, maybe being a bit more aggressive in fourth down situations, knowing you may need some more touchdowns than field goals if you're in Florida State territory in order to beat them on Friday night.
Great answer, Greg. Great answer. Yeah, it's a there is a lot on the on the line. Not just for Florida State for their national championship hopes, but Virginia can really change the narrative. Tony Elliott, this is a legacy game for him, and in his early head coaching career. People say, oh, this is the turning point, this is the linchpin, or this is when everything changed for him. And for someone, this is a legacy game for him. From not having a lot of success, at Virginia, and pretty much came in as one of the top 10 coaches in Power 4 football on the hot seat. For him to be in the position that he's in right now, where the team is putting up a lot of points, looks like they may have turned the corner here when it comes to getting to just bowl consistency. Trying to have that. That's something that this team just needs to get to 6 wins. Been dealing with 5 for the last year or so. So, this is a game that I feel that, number one, can definitely be influenced by the fans that show up. And before I go any further, Wood, are you there? Chad Wood. Are you there, Chad?
Yeah, man.
All right. Here's Chad Wood. Let me get that Chad ask you a question, Greg. You got it, Wood.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I just would ask you, how concerned are you with the trenches, especially in the O-line? Can Virginia establish a run game against that Florida State linebacker crew, and especially their defensive line has been playing phenomenal? Again, I know the competition have been great, but if you watch them on film, their linebackers and interior D linemen have been phenomenal. Can we at least establish somewhat of a run, so they at least respect the running game enough not to crowd the box, and we can set up play action pass?
Yeah, that's the key. That's one of the big keys for the offense. I mean, Darrell Jackson, I think Tony Elliott today compared him to Dexter Lawrence. He's that good. Florida State's big defensive tackle. So that kind of stands out. And with the potential of not having Brady Wilson, like I talked about earlier, I just think you got to have your communication good. You have to be able to make the calls and the checks at the line of scrimmage if you're, for Drake Metcalf, and then, Wigginton and Wyatt have to be good. That's the key. And that's a little bit of an unknown going in, because Wigginton, he had missed some practice last week, and then when he went in the game, he just wasn't great, right? It was a couple of penalties, and then you look at Wyatt, and he's still trying to figure out exactly how far he is removed from that injury a couple of years ago he had at James Madison. So to me, that's the big question mark going into this game, assuming, if Wilson doesn't play. I think they could probably get enough out of the left side with Boley and Josie, and Metcalf even at center. I'd worry about the right side a little bit if Wilson can't go, and there's some backups there who haven't had a ton of reps yet.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead, Wood.
No, go ahead. I didn't cut you off.
No, you got it, bro. Go ahead.
So did you say the center is out?
If he's out. He's day-to-day right now. The calf strain, Wilson, he's one of their better offensive linemen.
Right.
I think PFF has him as the highest graded center in the ACC, and fifth highest graded center in the country.
So
To me,
so he's out. Metcalf slides over to center.
yeah, if he's out, Metcalf will slide over to center, and then they'll play Wigginton or Wyatt at right guard.
That's a big loss.
Yeah, but you never know. Maybe they can give him some Advil and send him out there. Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
Well, hopefully, we can get him, ready to perform. I know that there's just a lot that has to take place before we could even think about, a young man getting out there and possibly risking his career, because
he's a good player.
Yeah, hey man, he's a phenomenal player. I think he's the best lineman. Even with Monroe Mills, if he could have played, I think he was going to be the best lineman, period. Anyway, the way that this team runs on the interior with 4 running backs, he's making the right calls. He's scooping a block on the back end. I mean, he's just great, man. Good. You want to go ahead? Were you going to say something, Greg?
I was just going to say he played his entire career at UAB as a center. He knows the ins and outs of the position. When he arrived, it was a pretty seamless transition for a guy who had been at the Group of 5 level, transitioning up to the Power 4. And Virginia was just so thrilled to have him. Good players, good identification in the portal by UVA to get him.
Absolutely. So
Metcalf is phenomenal too. So I don't know that you lose a lot at the center position, but you will lose in the right guard, right tackle that he's exiting. Metcalf's a phenomenal football player and person. So I guess you got to take your minus somewhere. But you'll lose a little bit of center, but I think he has enough leadership where, like you said, I think it'll still be strong on the left side. I worry about the right side if that's the case.
Let me bring in Amy here. Amy, actually, we do have a Hokie part of the 7 City Shoptalk team as well, Greg. She's our resident Hokie. Amy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Sorry,
I was in a class.
We are playing Ask Greg the question in class. So it's your turn. Ask Greg a question, anything. And you cover some do you cover anything with Virginia Tech as well?
We have, I read all the stories in the Roanoke paper because it's part of our paper chain, and I do know some people down there. We'll see. We'll see if I'll be able to help the Hokie out here.
Okay.
She runs the GoFundMe for Brent Pride down there.
We give her a hard time.
What did he say?
He said we got to GoFundMe for Brent Pride. But let's
no GoFundMe for anybody down there. His ass has already been paid and out the door.
So let me come to you. So you go ahead and ask Greg a question.
Who do you think that they're gonna be looking at?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Pivotal hire for Virginia Tech. I think it'll probably matter on how many, the candidate pool will depend on how much they're willing to invest in football, right? The fan base is passionate, great fan base at Virginia Tech. The administration just has to show it's willing to back football, like some of the other schools in the ACC are, and of course nationally, ACC, Big Ten, and SEC too. I do think you'll see some of the top Group of 5 names in the mix. Alex Golish at South Florida, I think, would be an outstanding candidate. You look at Summerall down at Tulane and how much he's won. If they want to go that route, or if you think they're going to swing, if they decide to try to swing big, I think I've heard they're going to hire a GM first before they hire a football coach, and that to me is interesting because they haven't really had that in place, so that'll be different. And maybe they go the NFL route and try to see if John Gruden's willing to bite. I think he'd probably be waiting for an SEC job before the Tech job. But to me, I think if you look at that Group of 5 candidate pool, Summerall would be a home run hire, I think, and I think Golish would be really good. What he's done at South Florida to turn them around, They're one of the better Group of 5 programs, better Group of 5 teams this year.
Man,
Yeah,
listen, Greg.
I've heard through the grapevine that we are getting a GM, and that person is going to have sole control over the football program, and Whit Babcock will have no input whatsoever.
Yeah, he's not part of the hiring committee.
Nope.
So that's an interesting dynamic too.
Yeah, I don't think he's long. I think he's you're going to see him out the door pretty soon.
So I feel like, see, Greg, you fit right in, man. We're gonna have to get you on here every 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I mean? You got some hokey information for Amy. You cover the Cavaliers. Yeah, we're gonna have to get you on, man. A little bit more, man. But yeah, this is awesome. Appreciate you hanging out with us. So
No problem.
now that we kind of got our questions out of the way, I got something I want to ask you, man. Being that this game's coming up, we know the magnitude of it or the gravitas of it. Are we, and maybe you can give us something maybe you've seen on the back end. What are some of the other things, we got new uniform or throwback uniforms, for this game, for the anniversary, in this 30-year anniversary of the game that UVA cracked the code for the Florida State coming to the ACC. What else are they doing to make this an incredible fan experience coming into coming into the game tonight or Friday night?
I think they have done a pretty good job. Like, the presentation in the stadium has gotten much better since I've been on the beat. I know. You could tell with the bigger scoreboard, the ribbon boards. If the folks filled the stands, like, it could be a pretty cool atmosphere for college football. But I think, and even it was so interesting. Like, Sage Ennis said it today when he was being asked about the crowd and how, if you hope it would be full. And he said, you got to win first. You got to get people bought in first before they just start showing up. He would hope it's filled for Friday night, but you got to win. You got to prove that you deserve the fans to keep coming. So I think it's not lost on the players, how big this game is and how much it would mean to the Virginia fan base if they can pull it off and pull off a win, or at least play really, really well. To show up and be competitive against a really good Florida State team. But as far as other stuff, they'll do the Cav man on the scoreboard before the game. I think it's for the Washington State game. They're bringing back. They're doing a 30-year anniversary for that team. For that team, maybe it was just because that's a Saturday game. I don't know exactly why, but I know I was talking to Jamie Sharper. I'll have a story on the game 30 years ago tomorrow, actually. And he was telling me that they're bringing back the players, for that Washington State game, who were part of that upset victory over the Noles. But it seems like, just from talking to him and another couple other players from that era, they're really hoping that this could happen for the Hoos. They were saying, what it did for them to beat Florida State 30 years ago, it could be that much more for this team. So phenomenal. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I was there for that. I was here for that. I graduated in 95. So yeah, it was phenomenal when that happened. And we were like so excited. I mean, and you know what? The whole ACC was excited that somebody cracked the code. Florida State, understand, if y'all go back and look at those scores of those games, those records, Florida State, it was 4 years they hadn't lost a game. They were beating everybody in the ACC by no less than 20 points a game, 30 points, 40 points, every game in, game out. Of course, these are the Peter Warwick years, but but they were at Charlie Ward. I mean, they were phenomenal, But this, I wonder what Florida State is feeling coming in, because we are definitely advertising it. We're pumping it up, and I wonder what their feeling is, coming into Scott, like, man, we're the ranked team, we're the ones you guys should fear. But I feel like UVA is really, really putting their best foot forward and trying to put a good product on the field, inside and out. So I'm very excited for Friday, and I can't wait to see all of my viewers, listeners, and my team, whoever can make it there. So let's do this. We usually do a segment called Good, Bad, the Ugly, and we're going to do that for the past game. And I'm going to start with AB, and we're going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly from the last game. So let me go ahead and start with you, AB. Come on in. Good, bad, the ugly from the last game.
I think the good is still our offense. We have really shown to have such a powerful offense. I just hope we continue to stay healthy and continue to utilize players. I've said it in the past, we've never utilized the talent that we have on the bench. And I feel like now we are throwing the ball around. We're giving it to a lot of different people, and we're really able to keep our opponent at a guessing game of like, okay, well, everybody's good. Who's it going to? So I feel like we're finally doing what I said we needed to do a long time ago. So I think that's the good. The bad is I still think that we have allowed our opponent to score too much. We haven't been able to get crucial stops on the defense. And I think that ties into the ugly as well. For us to continue to be dominant and win games, I think our defense really has to step it up times 1,000.
Okay, very good analysis there. Let me come to you, Ed. Good, the bad, the ugly.
The good was pretty obvious. I think 400 yards of offense in the first half. Never mind a game. 400 yards in the first half that's pretty good. Bad and the ugly kind of go together for me. There's still some stuff in the secondary that we got to clean up. It got exposed a little bit against William and Mary, more so against Stanford, and if we can't clean that up, Florida State's going to make this a track meet. So it could get really ugly if we're not careful.
And that's the ugly.
Yeah. Like I said, the bad and the ugly kind of go together.
Okay, all right. They dovetail together.
Yeah.
Let me come to you, Ethan. Good, the bad, the ugly. Stanford.
I'm going to start this out with it's good. I think we have a great running back committee. I think we got really good depth at running back. The bad, I would say, if I pronounce his name right, Whaley, I don't think we're using him enough. I think when he gets the ball in his hands, he makes plays. I think we could utilize him a little more. And I'm going to say the ugliest. I know everybody's targeting the defense and everything, but I'm going to say the O-line. It's very spotty at times. Chandler is really having to get outside that pocket to make plays or get rid of the ball. And technically, I think he got his first sack of the season when they ran him out of bounds the last game. So I'm going to say, going against this Florida State team, if we can't keep that O-line going, it doesn't matter how much they're scoring if we can't keep up with them, regardless if the defense doesn't keep up. That O-line's the key to this game coming up.
Very good analysis, Ethan. Let me come to you, Wood. Good, the bad, the ugly for the Stanford game.
I would definitely say the good is the connection between Morris and Terrell Harris and the receivers overall, but Terrell Harris had a hell of a game. The bad, I don't know, secondary, it's hard to say, but I guess I would say that if I had to, but I was like Peggy said, Clary coming back 100% will definitely help. I know he played a little bit, but it's hard to tell against, the last couple of opponents because we've been so dominant. So I guess if you had to say the good, the bad, not to piggyback off Ed, we agree again. That's pretty pathetic. But secondary needs a little work, and I say a little pass rush. We need a little bit more pass rush.
They had 5 sacks last week.
Terrell Harris, he's been phenomenal. I think
He really has
150 yards or something on Saturday without stats in front of me, but
yeah, something like that.
3 touches.
But no, Friday night will be a measuring stick. Stanford. We won the game we should have won, and that's what you should do as a good team. We've covered the spread as far as I can remember, but yeah, the offense is on fire right now. That'll need to continue, and then like Ethan said, the offensive line, we got some moving pieces. So hopefully the center will play because if not, I really worry about the right side of that line. If Metcalf moves over to center and like the right guard, right tackle.
Right, we're going against their starters. then we start going against, then we have our backups going against them. That's where we kind of run into some issues. Amy, give me your good, bad, and ugly.
I did not watch the game. I didn't even watch the Virginia Tech game, so I can't give you an analysis on any of it.
You won. That's good.
I was at the baseball game.
Well,
You
that's
won a
right.
game. Isn't that good?
We won, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It was
You,
Wofford.
you beat Wofford.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like you beat Elon, but you beat Wofford.
Yeah, but you can't even. That ain't even a team.
Let me
Although
come
we
to
did
you.
lose our assistant basketball coach to Wofford today.
Oh, wow.
Yep, he's going to be the head coach at Wofford today.
Wow.
They slip him in one of the equipment bags and sneak him out the back door.
That's
They
it. It
must
rains,
have.
it pours. Let me come to you, Greg. Let me get your good and bad and the ugly. I'll give mine.
Yeah, I think to me it's the quarterback. Chandler Morris was just outstanding from start to finish. I mean, I know that's a pretty simple analysis, but they were really good. And for the fourth straight game to start the year, he had a different kind of co-star. Right, the first week it was Cam Ross. The second week, Jamari Taylor. The third week, Harrison Whaley. And then this past Saturday, it was Trell Harris. They just got so many weapons on offense. That's a major positive, and something that's going to keep opposing defenses on their toes as the year goes along. The bad, I would just say some of the big pass plays in the secondary. Like, you got to get that cleaned up before Friday night, or it could be a long night. You can't have miscommunications, misalignments in the secondary. Right, because they gave up a 78-yard touchdown against William and Mary. They gave up 260-plus yard passes against Stanford. You just want to start to get to see that corralled. And really, there's no ugly when you win a game like that. I got to be honest. Like, that's a pretty good performance for Virginia. No ugly in that one.
I got you. I got some ugly. I'm gonna have to pull it out, my man. I got a little ugly. Okay.
You guys are tough. You guys are tougher on them than I am, for sure.
Well, Seven City Shoptalk, they don't pull no punches. My team is gonna let you know how they feel for sure.
Apparently, they know who we are.
Yeah, they do. Apparently, yeah. Word's been getting around for a while, but yeah. So, my good is something that I know myself, and I know AB has said this. The tight ends were involved. The tight ends made some huge plays down the field. You're talking about Sage catching a touchdown on a crosser, on a clear out, then a cross under. Just walked into the end zone. And then, of course, Dakota Twitty catching two 10-plus yard, 12-plus yard catches down the field. That is really something that really gets me excited, because in these games, when you have these stud corners on the outside, these 4- and 5-star guys who can run like the wind, that are going to play on Sundays, you got to have someone or some other players on the inside who can make plays, whether that's your tight ends running seams, getting loose from linebackers who have dual responsibility, also running backs who also we have a full room of talented running backs. I think it's great. I know you want to. I know you were saying, Ethan, get more Whaley involved. I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing, and just keep fresh guys rotating in and just bludgeoning, the defenses right now. I think this is a good opportunity for them to show exactly who they want to be this year, and it looks like they want to run the ball, and they're doing a great job of running the ball, something that they have struggled to do since Tony's been here. So the injuries are my bad. I'm very, very worried about the injuries on this team. And I know that we actually have depth because of the transfer portal, because of NIL. We have some folks who wanted to come here and wanted to be on this team. And, we're 2 and 3 deep, where we were not 2 and 3 deep for the longest time at Virginia. Our starters were great, but we'd always struggle with bringing in some backups. They just weren't developed, or they were just younger guys who, were just playing way too early. So having depth this is where your injuries get tested. But the tight ends, and yeah, Eric, my man Eric, EM Sports sits beside me in the press box. He was saying there he is. The tight ends, well, did a great job, and that would help relief on play action. Yeah, I think they did a great job of getting the ball to the tight ends down the seam, and also just getting them down the field and targeting them, on some play actions as well. And the ugly, this is my little ugly. It's the kicking. Big games like this. This is when we're gonna need our kicker. One kick was almost like it was just mishit like it was a golf ball, and it was just an awful miss. And then one kick was made, and it was an awful make. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about it, but it was an awful make that we had. And then we had then I don't think do we have two misses? We only had one miss, and that was the awful miss, right, Greg? I think he made the other one.
Yeah, Bettridge had one. He was 2 for 3.
2 for 3, right. Then of course he made the one that which looked like it usually looks, but I kind of in the back of my mind I think we need him to be as solid as he needs to be right now, going into this part of our season, going into the conference, going to conference play and getting ready to play. Looks like the big dog of the conference, and a lot of times it comes down to that kicker at the end of the game, how their nerves are, and can they finish it out and close the game out for the team. So that's my good, the bad, the ugly. And let's get to our next segment. So let's get into our predictions. Everybody ready? By any chance, did you have the predictions, AB, from last week? If you have them, you want to throw them out there right quick for the scores for everybody.
So Ethan said 42-27.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, Ethan. Okay.
Ed said 37-10.
Okay.
I said 32-24.
Okay.
Amy said 27-24. And Lawrence, you said 42-10.
Okay. All right. So now let's get into the predictions for
Maybe forgot about the winner.
Who's the winner, Chad?
Well, I don't have Chad written down.
I called Stanford score on the money, and I missed UVA by 7.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay.
What did you say, Chad?
What was the final score?
48-28.
48.
I think I said 41-28.
Well, you said you had Stanford on the money, right?
No, I picked UVA to win.
Yeah, but I'm saying you said Stanford. You had Stanford score correct.
Yeah.
All right. So you said 41-20.
20. Okay.
I win either way.
Either way, huh? Okay. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and start it. Ethan, coming to you first. Give me your prediction for the game. This is going to be good. Let's hear it, everybody. Let's hear it.
Well, before I give a score, I think this game's going to go two ways. Either Florida State's just going to blow us out, or it's going to be a close game. Now, I can't pick who's going to win, but I'm going to go 33-26. I know that's not fair, and I'm going to get some slack for it, but I really don't know which way to go with that, so I'm doing 33-26, either or.
That ain't going to work, Ethan. You got to pick a winner, my man.
Florida State.
Okay. All right. Florida State, we got you. Let me come to you, Ed. Give me a score and a prediction. Oh, before we get going, what about player of the game?
Player of the game? Ooh. I'm gonna say Taylor.
Okay. All right, Taylor. All right, awesome. Let me come to you, Ed. Give me your prediction and player of the game.
There we go. 38-34 Virginia. Player of the game, Was it Chad Morris, quarterback?
Chandler.
Chandler.
All right. Chandler Morris. We got that. Let
We
me
could go.
come.
We could go a couple of different ways, but yeah.
Got you. Okay. Chandler sounds good. Let me come to you, Wood. What you got?
41-34, Florida State. Chandler Morris, player of the game.
41. What was that?
34.
41-34. Okay. All right.
Who was your player?
You said Chandler Morris, Chad player?
Chandler Morris, yep.
All right. Amy.
48-24, Florida State, and K. Davis of Florida State's going to be the player of the game because he's going to run over
Oh, come on! It's not like we're
secondary.
playing Wofford.
Oh,
He's going to run over the secondary.
oh my goodness. Okay. All right. You give yours, AB.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to calculate in my brain.
Let me come to you, Greg. Prediction and player of the game.
Yeah, I think Florida State will win. Sorry, guys.
That's
I
okay.
think Florida State will win 45 30, 38. I'll go with that. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I think these two offenses are really, really good. But I think in the end, Florida State too much on the ground for Virginia. And I'll go with Castellanos as the player of the game.
Okay. All right. For me, I am gonna go with Florida State 41, UVA 38. And then I think player of the game is probably going to be their running back. He's a stud. I look and I feel like the injury bug is going to catch up with UVA for this game. You know, I wouldn't say that about any other team. I feel very confident with this team. Anybody else in the ACC, I just feel like the way Florida State is playing, they are definitely, I think they're heads and shoulders, and they haven't shown any cracks in their armor right now. You know, I haven't seen anything where we have been explosive and we look good on offense, but we've shown, you know, we have some weaknesses that we still haven't tightened up yet since the beginning of the year. And Florida State looks like they
Yeah.
are in mid-season form, pushing towards the end of the year, and they look like they're in mid-season, ready to push all the way through to a bowl championship berth. So, or series berth, tournament berth, playoff berth. So, that's where I am with it. You ready, AB?
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong, but 49-39 FSU. But I think Edrin is going to have a heck of a.
Okay, Adrian. Okay. Rob is saying, okay, we got the look. I know the fans was gonna say something. He says, Florida State hasn't played anyone. That's true. I mean,
No, their first game was Alabama. It's 31-17.
That was a month ago.
Terrible.
Yeah. But I mean,
Not the same.
Alabama's not playing. Alabama's not what Alabama was, but
Yeah,
you
but see,
still
they're not
played
even.
Alabama, and they still have the same defensive people down there.
okay, all right. So
I mean, they scored 66 and 77 against some other two teams, but
It was Kent State.
I know, same as Wofford.
Rob is saying
I'm
Bama
not
is
comparing him to
weak.
Wofford.
Rob is saying Bama is weak.
Bama is not Bama anymore. I don't know about weak, but they're not Bama.
Yeah, they're not Bama, but their defense is not weak.
They're still 17th ranked in the nation, so you got to put a little bit of respect
Well,
on that ranking.
I don't care what they're ranked now.
Well,
I don't care what anybody's ranked now. It's nice, but it's not worth anything right now.
If Bama played Florida State or played Virginia, they would destroy us. Like, they still got 5-star recruits down there.
I guess we better join the Big Ten then.
Let me come to you, Greg. Let me ask you some questions here before we let you go and cut you loose. So let me ask you, man.
Why is he not in the middle of the screen? Why am I in the middle of the screen?
You should.
You got a beard there, Amy? Because the person in the middle of the screen's got a beard. I'm just saying. I mean, if you do, that's fine.
On my screen, it's my little Oriole bird.
Well, your screen's in Blacksburg, and
I am not in
that's a
Blacksburg,
good
Riri.
Riri.
You're the one who's talking, Amy.
She's breaking out the big words now.
All right. Team. So
Yes, Dad.
let me come to you. Let me ask you, Greg. What do you think the prediction, or for your record prediction from you for this team? I mean, I think we're all pretty much in unison in saying that they're going to have a hard time against Florida State. But moving forward, what do you think this team can end at when it comes to a record?
Yeah, so before the year, I had them at 7 wins, 7-5 in a regular season. I think they've probably got a shot to win more than that, though. Now, after seeing them the first month of the season, I think they've got a shot to get to 8 or 9. The schedule, I know it's probably pretty forgiving. The schedule, I would think, like this week and next week are their 2 toughest games of the year. A trip to Cal could be weird, right? Just going all the way out there to the West Coast. But other than that, like, I don't see any teams on there that they shouldn't be able to hang with. Even the next 2 weeks, right? Like, this is going to be a close game Friday night. They could win Friday night. They could win at Louisville. They've played Louisville tough the past couple of years with a lesser talented team. So I think that there's some serious potential for this team to get to 8, maybe 9 wins and have an excellent season and a great step forward for Tony Elliott.
Is Louisville not as good as they were last year, in your opinion?
I don't think the quarterback's as good as the other quarterbacks that they've had under Jeff Brom. To me, Miller Moss, he's okay. Like, they're still really good on defense. The running back Isaac Brown is outstanding. Really terrific player, speedy, fast, hard to tackle, all of that. But I don't think Miller Moss is Plummer, and I don't think he's the players they've had at that position the last few years. They've done it through the portal, and Brom has a proven system, so maybe he gets better as the year goes along. I don't know. I watched a lot of that James Madison game a couple of Friday nights ago that they had, and I was not overly impressed with Moss, but I thought Brown was terrific, and you just keep feeding the ball until he hits the home run. And then on defense, I think they're really, really good. They got some really good players on defense.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right about that. I feel like this, these next few weeks are going to be definitely going to shape where this team goes, and they got an opportunity, to go somewhere they haven't been in a long time. But it gives the fan base a lot of optimism. I feel like if they don't win, have an incredible showing against Florida State, I think that this team, and then of course, if you have a good showing, and man, if you win, it's totally different. But if you have a good showing, the confidence in the team. I mean, you already see the confidence, is already there because number one, the team is a veteran team. Being that you have so many guys that are proven, guys that have come from the programs, they've seen a lot, and they are not afraid to play, or the confidence level is there. And I feel like if they can have a great showing or even pull off the win, I think moving forward, barring you're playing a team of that, with all that ferocity that they play with out there, they can escape injury. We might be able to be on to something really, really, really cool here in Charlottesville. So we got some tickets, viewers and listeners. If you're there, send myself or AB some a message through Messenger or even on this stream on why you would want the tickets. Of course, we got 2 tickets that we're giving away, and we love to get the stadium full. And that is the focus for us. We do our part, and I believe looks like the team has been doing theirs. So let's kind of get our closing monologues going. And we're right on time. We're 59 minutes. My man, Greg, let me go and let you start our guest of honor. Go ahead and give a closing monologue for today.
Yeah, no, I just think if you're a Virginia fan, you should be optimistic about what's happening this year. I think with how how many different skilled players they have on offense that can beat an opposing defense. That's fun, right? And that's something, it's been missing the last couple of years for Virginia, right? They've had some really good, individual talents, Malik Washington, Malachi Fields, but you haven't seen the collection of talent since Bronco Mendenhall's last year when they had all those different wide receivers and Brennan Armstrong at quarterback. So this is a good step forward in terms of that. The O-line is better. Defensive line, I think, is improving. With Daniel Rickert starting to show up in the pass rush department, Mitchell Melton starting to get a little more accustomed to playing every down, and it's been better. Yeah, it's been better. So I think just overall, it's probably a good. If you're a Virginia fan, you should probably feel as good about the team now than at any point during the Tony Elliott era.
Did Rickard not play much in the first 3 games?
He came off the bench. He's been an off the bench guy. I just think, he was a post-spring. He was post-spring addition.
Yeah, it came in late.
Coming from the FCS ranks, give him a little bit of time to adjust. And he's shown he probably deserves a little more playing time. So,
well, he says he what is it? He fashions himself after the Bosa brothers.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, that's his. Those are his guys. So let's go ahead and get you in here, Wood. Let me get your closing monologue.
No, I kind of piggyback off what he said. I mean, I'm as negative as they come, but if you're a Virginia fan, as far as how well we've done this far, and we're talking about Friday night, Florida State under the lights, or they're number 8. And at Scott Stadium, number 8's coming to town, and people are talking about we might have a chance to win. I think we've come a long way in the last couple of years as far as, Florida State comes to town in the last couple of years, there's no chance we win. There's no chance we keep it within 14. We may or not, but we may not. But the chance that we're talking about, we may have a chance to win this game. It shows how far we come as a program. Again, I'm as negative as anybody, but no, I think the money we've invested in the quarterback, the skill positions, even the defense, there's a lot of reason to be positive, even for me. So, no, I think if you're a Virginia fan, like he said, I think it's a lot of good things coming, and I think we should be positive. And I'm trying to learn to be positive, but I'm not there yet.
Not there yet, Amy.
Wow.
Closing monologue.
If Louisville, looking ahead, I don't think they're going to beat FSU. No way. And Louisville plays Pitt the week before they come to Virginia, or we play Louisville, or you guys play Louisville. I don't see Virginia beating FSU. I just don't. And I don't see them beating Louisville, and I don't see them beating Cal. UNC just depends on if Belichick's got his people where they need to be. Yeah, they've spent a lot of money, but two of the $1 million people are hurt and they can't play. I don't know. I don't really like Tony Elliott. I agree with AB. I've got a lot of UVA friends that don't go to the games anymore because of him. I don't know.
Okay.
Pure hater. On to the next one, all. Pure hater. Next.
I'm not a hater, Chad. I've told you. I root for UVA when Virginia Tech is not playing. But you got to be realistic.
Yeah, you lost to Wofford, so you can't be realistic.
Whatever. We did not lose to Wofford, you idiot.
Ethan.
They lost to Elon.
My bad.
I get it mixed up too.
I mean, closing out for me, we talk about how good this team's done. Yeah, me and AB's kind of went back and forth with, is Des Kitchens still not getting credit he deserves or not. I think this is going to be a real testament. Is the talent helping Des Kitchens, or is it Des Kitchens doing better? or is it just us playing teams that we should beat? I think this is going to be the real test of how good Des Kitchens actually is with talent against a good team coming to town. So I think we're going to see the cracks in this team starting with Des Kitchens' play calling. It's either going to be really good for this game, or they're just going to straight shut us down.
All right. Let me come to you, Ed.
Me? Okay. Yeah, I can't argue with that. They're either going to shut us down or we're going to be okay. I'm feeling a little off right now. Chad's being optimistic and Amy's hating on Virginia. What is this world coming to? I keep saying I'm cautiously optimistic. And it's like we were saying earlier, it's been a while since we could be optimistic. I know I was I the only person that picked Virginia to win, AB?
I think you were. Usually I would get to carry the homer
yeah,
around.
Slap my mouth and call me Homer.
Chad would call me the Homer. I carry the Homer baton around.
I've been called worse by bigger people. It's been a while since I could really be legitimately optimistic. These are not rose-colored glasses. Sorry. But I know that an awful lot has to go right for us to win. So, it could happen. Probably won't, but it could. But I think just the fact that we're able to say we have a chance. We've given Des Kitchens a hard time the last 3 years. Yeah. And in some cases, deservedly so. But we had 400 yards of offense at the half. Somebody's doing something right, whether we've gotten better players and he looks smarter, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I know he looks a lot smarter this year than he did the last 3 years. So whether that is him finally figuring it out, or finally figuring out that we need to spend more money, or just having better players. But the offense has really been a strong point of this team, and it's been a while since we could say that.
Absolutely. Let me come to you, AB. Closing monologue.
So let's just keep in mind, talent can make the best coaches. The worst coaches.
Yeah.
So I'm still not giving Des Kitchen his credit because I feel like, well, I'm not saying that to you, Ed. I just feel like it's all been happening, and there's he got coordinator of the week. I'm not sold on him, and the fact that he got coordinator of the week, where have you been the last couple of years?
Who gave him that? The ACC did?
Yeah.
It's a Blacksburg Touchdown Club, I think it was, wasn't it?
Sold on him? If they win this game, would you be sold on him more, from your opinion? What's it going to take for you personally to be sold on him, in your opinion?
Not spending almost $30 million in talent to develop. That's already you're putting talent on the field. The worst coach can do great with good talent. So I'm not sold on him yet. I still feel like he has shown us who he is, because he had good talent before. He just didn't utilize it. So in my opinion, he's just got a lot to prove, and I'm not sold on him. So, yeah.
Robert and I didn't really had talent. He didn't really do that good, though,
Who?
Robert and I.
The father of the tackle eligible play.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that, Ed. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I haven't.
Didn't we still go to a bowl game under him, though?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I just feel like I haven't got there with him yet. I don't know what would change my mind, just because I've seen such bad coaching from him the last couple of years. So I'm not sold on him yet. I'll wait and see. Elliott is coming around to me a little bit. but we'll see. In other closing though, I feel like if we can get through this game, not have any more injuries, even if we lose this game, I think there's a potential that we could win out the season if we can really compete against FSU this weekend. So that is my hope. And
That's
that's all I got
10-2.
Yeah.
That's 10-2. Hey. So my closing monologue is, I don't know if you guys are any like Drew Hill fans or old school R&B. You ever heard of a group called Drew Hill? There's a song that says, "These are the times we all wish for." It's an old school R&B song. And these are the times that we all wish for. As long as we've been this team and we've been doing this show, we've wanted games to come along like Friday night. These are the times we've all wished for. And we actually have it coming right now, guys. We and our viewers and listeners out there, if we can show the support that that I think this team or any team needs at their home stadium, and I am convinced that I think that these kids are special, especially on both sides of the ball. There are things that are going on that are, and even with London, and I love Mike, I love Coach Bronco, Coach Elliott. I'm learning to understand and respect the guy. I'm understanding what he's trying to do. A lot of times, we kind of figure it out after the fact, what the people are about. And I think as we continue to figure out what this coaching staff is, how they do things, I think we definitely are in a position to figure out what this team is and where they're headed. And it looks like they're all headed in the direction we all want them to go. So, yeah, these are the times we all wanted. These are the times we wish for. Friday night, prime time, only big time game on Friday, ACC game. I'm going to be there. I guess everybody, Ed, you're not going to be able to make it, are you, Ed? Okay, Ed won't be there. I think naturally Amy won't be there, but I think everybody else is going to be there. This is it. These are our times. So let's show out. Let's make sure that we can just give them support that they need and continue to just see this team evolve. Remember, this team is still evolving. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and they're one of the top offenses in the nation. So, and the defense seems like they're coming around outside of having some issues on the back end, but it looks like we got some help coming with Clary coming back and getting more acclimated on the back end. So with that being said, we got to thank all of you for hanging out and spending time with us. But as of now, the shop is closed. What's up, Rob? He said he's going to be there in section 119. We'll see you, man. I'll be out there. Come knock on the press box.
I'll be in
119?
118.
118? Okay. All right. There we go. And we're giving those tickets away. So everybody listening, if you want to shoot a message out there or post something to 7 City Shop Talk is giving away a pair of tickets. Go ahead and shoot that out there, and we'll see if we can get them to somebody deserving, a Virginia fan, of course. But thank you, guys. But like I said, the shop is closed. Thank you, Wahoo. I'll see you Friday night.